Hello everyone. In today's class, we're going to see definition and scope of linguistics. Linguistics is the scientific study of a language. The word language here means language in general and not a particular language. So linguistics does not study an individual language, whereas it studies language in general. So let us see the definition of linguistics given by Robbins in the year 1985. Linguistics is concerned with human language as a universal and recognizable part of human behavior and of the human faculties, perhaps one of the most essential to human life as we know it, and one of the most far reaching of human capabilities in relation to the whole span of mankind's achievements. In this definition, Robbins highlights language's universal and essential role in human behavior. He tries to tackle its structure, meaning, and the usage across diverse dimensions, from phonetics to social linguistics. He also underscores that language, a universal human triad, is recognizable across cultures, and it also plays a pivotal role in our daily lives by facilitating communication, shaping thought process, and also enhancing social interactions. Coming to scope of linguistics. Today, linguistics is a subject of study where it is considered as an independent of other disciplines. But if you take before 20th century, study of language, it was not regarded as a separate area of study at all, whereas it was considered as a part of history of language or the philosophy of language. And this was not known as linguistics as well, but it was called as what? Philosophy. But now, linguistics is a modern name, which it defines a specific discipline in which we study a language not in relation to any other areas like history or philosophy, but we study language as itself, where it is considered as a self-enclosed or an autonomous system which is worthy of studying its own rights. And the next thing is, modern linguistics is generally known as descriptive. So the main concern of modern linguistics is to describe a language, where you try to study the nature of language, you try to establish a theory of language. Basically you describe it. So it aims at studying the components of a language system, and once you read it, you come to an explanatory statement on how the system works. So that is why modern linguistics is generally known as descriptive. And the next thing is, uh, linguistics not only it is descriptive, whereas it also has other concerns as well. So it where the other concerns, it falls under the scope of linguistics. It includes historical as well as the comparative study of language. So let us see about historical and comparative study of language in depth. The first thing is descriptive linguistics. So let us take this definition again given by Robbins. Descriptive linguistics is concerned with the description and analysis of the way in which a language operates and is used by a given set of speakers at a given time. Yeah. So this may be at the present or the past or at any given time. The language is the language is described irrespective of what is preceded or what it may be it follow of it. So whatever it is, you just treat you just describe a language in a in linguistics. So descriptive, if you take descriptive linguistics, it emphasizes in modern linguistics as the fundamental aspects of the study of language here. Okay. And next thing is, modern descriptive linguistics is actually based on structural approach to a language. So whatever it is, you will actually describe a language. It deals with a description of how language works rather than how it should be. So that is exactly called as descriptive linguistics. And the next is historical linguistics. Let's again see the definition. Historical linguistics is the study of developments in languages in the course of time, the ways in which languages change from period to period, and of the cause and result of such changes. So historical linguistics, you basically study about how a language is changed from one period to another, and what are the causes and what are the results of such changes. So two things are very important. One is synchronic and the another one is dichronic. So this two dichotomies was given by Saussure in the year 1916. Okay, so a synchronic study is non-historical, whereas a dichronic study is historical. So to know it much more easier, I will explain you what that is. If we study the changes that have taken place in English from Old English to Middle English and to Modern English, then it is called as dichronic study or a historical study, where you study about the past, present. And if we study the structure of English as it exists today, and describe it without reference to how it was used in the past, then it is called as a synchronic study or non-historical study. Okay. Next is comparative linguistics. So comparative linguistics is concerned with comparing two or more languages. Okay. So when you compare two or more languages, it is called as comparative linguistics. Whereas when the history of these languages is compared with a view to discovering the historical relationship between these languages, then it is called as comparative historical study. Okay. If you compare just two or more languages, it's comparative study. If you compare the historical relationship between the languages, then it is called as comparative historical study. Okay. Next is cognates. Cognates is a very important term in comparative linguistics, where cognate is a word which is related genetically to other words, which together form a set of cognates which is descended from the proto language. Okay. So I can explain you with the help of example. So let's take these examples. First is frater in Latin language, brother in English, and bratha in Sanskrit. Okay, so these three, this set is called as cognate. Why they are called as cognate is, in each cognate you can see there is some sound similarity, that shows that there is a kind of genetic link between them. However, there is also a sound change which indicates that each belong to a different language. So you can see the sound change, as well as you can see there is some kind of similarities which makes you to know that there is genetic link between all these three words. So that is why they are called as cognates, a set of cognates. So in this way, the comparative linguist, they attempt to construct cognate sets and attempts to reconstruct the protoforms so as to give an account of the changes that have occurred in the development of the language. Okay, so on the whole, modern linguistics is mainly descriptive because it attempts to describe fully and accurately the structure of a language, as it exists at a given time. And it is also called as a synchronic study of a language. Why is it is called as a synchronic study of a language? Because you analyze, you take a language, you compare a language, or you analyze a language, how it exists as a given point of time. So that is why it is called as synchronic study. Okay. So again, I have given few questions for you to know whether you have understood the topics that has been discussed in today's session. So try to answer these questions, and I will see you in the next session. Thank you.